Yeah, and then I woke up and I was covered in piss.
Jesus
What's up,
Christ.
everybody? And welcome to the last ever episode of the PSN Party Podcast. I am your host this evening, the one and the only BMG, and I am joined by SSG Sentinel. Good evening, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Living the dream, my friend, living the dream. I've
Nice.
slept all day. Well, I did work all night, but I've slept all day. I'm 5 beers in. I'm all happy. It's all good. It's all
Nice.
good.
Just getting started,
Yeah.
sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be asleep again in an hour.
I hope not.
Right? Yeah.
If I go
Wait, how long is this
silent
show?
and I don't speak. You know I've fallen asleep.
Right.
And I am also joined by the GM of the XBN Network. I'm a Ghostbuster Ash. Good evening, sir.
Evening.
How are you?
Oh, tired as well, but I'm alive and kicking just about, so it's all good.
Mm.
All good.
Yeah. Has your old man back healed? Are you better now? You didn't get out of bed so
I can
fast.
move and I can move and stuff today, so it's all good. Did enjoy lazing around on Sunday playing video games all day, like in agony, admittedly, but it was nice to actually sit and just play a game for fun and not have to worry about it. So yeah, that was good. But other than that, the pain wasn't.
Oh, well, that's what alcohol and painkillers are for. Helps dull anything. And we are also joined by two special guests this evening. Our first guest is Luke Steele. Good evening, sir.
Evening, yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Okay,
As
that was pretty bad. You got to go Luke Steele. You got to really dig deep for that one.
I would, but I think I would cough. I'd have a coughing fit, so it's probably
Right. Yeah.
And we're also joined by our other special guest, Mesuku. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, guys. It's very nice to be here with such a great bunch of people. So I'm really hyped at the moment.
Good. It's great to have you both here. Tonight's topics. Oh no, let's not go there yet. Let's go with a bit of housekeeping first. So you can join our not Patreon, because that is a different show that I was watching. Our YouTube subscribers and become a member today for 99p. Oh my god, give me a second because I just need all the names to come across again so I can read them in order, because I haven't got it up on my left hand side because I am an idiot and it has been a while since I have done this. So a very big shout out and a big thank you to all our members that help keep the shows going that we do, creating content and providing Ash's nude videos of eating food to you. And our members are Muppet, Finber, UK Dazarus, Exclusive Slayer Gaming, Darren, Matt Kelly, Shadow Mole, Back from the Dead 1, Paul AFC, the one and the only, the best BMG, Stubbs Gaming, Wandering Dutch, Sergeant Sentinel Gaming, the American Soldier, Masuku, Donny, Pure Dead Gaming. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Every little bit helps keep the lights on, as they say, the website, the channel going, and helps us keep making great content for you. And you can join for just 99p. I don't think you can even buy an ice cream now for 99p. I think that went out the window about 10 years ago.
99p's
So,
are
there we
about
go.
£5, aren't they?
Something like that, yeah. Ain't no cheap no more. Tonight's topics include Ubisoft will delete your stuff if you don't keep your account active, but only if you delete your account yourself. You can't access your games now. Insomniac working on a new game. More info dropped on Spider-Man 2 and the infamous Sony's E3 2006, now available in 1080p, which we will be showing any minute now. But before we get into all that, what has everybody been playing this evening? I'll come to our guest first. Masuku, what have you been playing over the weekend, last couple of days, last month, last year? Take your pick.
Yeah. Well, I did beat this Dordogne game from Game Pass, the French game that is like it's like an adventure game. So very relaxing game in the French countryside, and the biggest difference in this game to other games is like this beautiful watercolor background. So it's uh, like myself, I like to paint, so it's very nice to watch, and the details, and really, maybe I watch the game a little bit differently, and I'm thinking like imagining like how I would do it, and what kind of changes they have to do so it works in a game format, because I'm just thinking like how the backgrounds and the foreground and how the the characters stand out in the art. So it was for me also like different kind of experience in that painting perspective. And then besides that, I have been playing Yakuza 0. That's still ongoing. I'm still maybe halfway with that game. And then I restarted Elden Ring. So I have been playing that maybe 5-6 hours now. So that's my game for lately.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Some good games there. Luke, what about yourself? What have you been playing?
I haven't. Literally, the only thing I've been playing is Tears of the Kingdom. Basically, I've been pretty addicted to that. I'm trying to think. Have I actually played anything else recently? And I'm pretty sure I haven't. So it's just Tears of the Kingdom. I'd like to try and finish that soon, because it would just be good to do so ahead of everything else that's going to come out this year. But it's probably my favorite game of the year so far. Anyway, and I'm about 50 hours in. But it's such a massive game that's not really even that big of a figure, to be honest. So yeah, I think it's incredible.
Spiritual successor to Banjo, wasn't it?
Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. That's the one. It's just Nuts and Bolts too.
So unoriginal, disgusting.
And you run around with pointed ears in tights.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
Just answer Fimber's asked in the chat. Can someone help me with one question? Does the PS Store doesn't offer pre-order options? It does. You can pre-order any game. You can do it through the app, but you need to be aware it does the opposite from Xbox. With Xbox, you pre-order, takes payment like 3 to 5 days before the game comes out. PlayStation, you have to pay for the game in full when you pre-order it. Just to make you aware before
taking that
you do
money
that.
off you.
Yep. PlayStation is not taking any chances.
Oh, Jim's smart. Jim's smart.
You ain't cancelling that pre-order now. You're in.
Right. Yep. They're like, you're not getting it back.
He does it the right way. He knows the score.
Right.
Sentinel, good to you next, sir. What have you been playing?
I've actually been playing a lot, and I know Thimber is going to give me shit for this in the chat, but I've been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto 4. Again, restarted it.
He's lying.
Yeah. No, I do play a lot of Grand Theft Auto 4. I actually went back and started playing Sleeping Dogs again as well. Very great game. Definitely underrated.
That's an awesome game.
Yeah, I love it, it's just too bad that the studio went away. We'll never get a sequel, but it happens sometimes. And then I've been playing Tropico 6 as well. So those are really the 3 games, aside from review games, that I've been playing this week.
No, a review tripe. Let's call it what it is. There's a lot of tripe going around at the moment in there. So.
No, you know what though? I do want to say that I actually got a code for a game called Sable, which is actually pretty good. Its
Yeah,
art style
Sable is good.
its art style is pretty simple, but it's still a memorable style, and the game is actually a lot of fun. So Sable is one of the best review games that I have in my lineup. I will say that about Sable. Now, some of them, you're right, it is shovelware basically, but other ones like Sable are actually pretty decent. And the racing game, I think I have it. I think I have it on PlayStation, PS5, that I did a review for. It was actually pretty fun. It's like Classic Racers Elite. It was fun. Yeah, the frame rate dropped out, but I like racing games anyway. And seeing as PlayStation doesn't have Forza Motorsport or Horizon, it's kind of starving for good quality racing games. So,
You're not wrong there.
yeah.
Why don't you just play Grand Theft Auto 5? Why are you sticking with 4?
You know what though? I
5
wanna
is
say this
superior.
because the driving. All right, so here's the thing with Grand Theft Auto 5. They revamped the driving, and they're like, oh, we consulted with people who make racing games to make the driving better, right? And after going from Grand Theft Auto 4 to Grand Theft Auto 5 and remembering that, I'm like, what company did you consult with to improve the driving mechanics? Because it's worse. It's like it handles, in my opinion, worse than Grand Theft Auto 4. With Grand Theft Auto 4, it's slightly more realistic how you have to start slowing down ahead of time. But with Grand Theft Auto 5, the steering for a lot of cars is just more awkward. So and the story with Grand Theft Auto 4 is a lot more like a Grand Theft Auto game, whereas GTA 5, they're much more focused on the California culture. And for people outside of the United States, you might not know this, but California has its own culture, and most of the rest of the United States doesn't share that same culture. So a lot of what you see in GTA 5, it's just not how a lot of the rest of the country does things or how they think. And so the GTA 5 California culture, I'm just like, you guys can keep that. I'd much rather have the dark and gritty GTA 4 set in Liberty City, but that's just my opinion.
But they're all satirical.
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah, well, and the whole thing about GTA 4, how it's like how the whole immigrant situation in New York City and how it's all dark and gritty and you got to fight to get your way out. It's like that's great. That's great for a Grand Theft Auto game, but GTA 5 is just you're playing as a guy who already made it and he's rich and all this stuff, and it's like, come on, man. It's like, make it dark and gritty, in alleys and with crime and all this other stuff. I don't give a shit about the movies and all that Hollywood stuff. I just don't,
Well, it's people like you is why we're not getting GTA 6 playing all the old games.
No, it's people like you buying it like 15 times is the reason why we're not getting GTA 6 yet. How many times have you bought GTA 5? Yep, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I own it on 360.
12 different consoles.
PS3, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X.
See, there you go.
But we can just agree that they're both not very good games.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
Trevor's
the best thing about GTA 5. The online's fun. I've got a flying DeLorean.
Oh, Jesus. No, you know what? The best thing about GTA 5 is Franklin. The best thing about GTA 5 is Franklin. Because he hasn't made it. He's not an experienced criminal. He is the epitome of the Grand Theft Auto story. Because in every Grand Theft Auto story, you got to start at the bottom and work your way up, right? So Franklin is the main protagonist of GTA 5, and you're not going to change my mind.
Yeah, but for the fantasy of that is crap, because Nico just starts poor and ends a bit richer but still poor, basically.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the whole fun thing about GTA is going from rags to riches, whereas I think they said at the time GTA 4 was going from rags to slightly better rags, and that was just boring. That was just so, like, at least, I mean, neither game's good, but GTA 5 is a bit more vibrant and interesting than Nico Bellic and his drab crap coat.
You can buy suits and stuff, but I get what you're saying though about how you can't really. It doesn't feel like you've really made it. Like if you really hustle in Grand Theft Auto 4, you can break $1 million. If you really hustle and you do a lot of the car theft missions and stuff, you can break $1 million. Yes, in GTA 5, if you do it right and you know how to play the stock market in game, you can make $1 billion. Definitely.
Well, fair enough, fair enough. And Ash, what have you been playing? Probably about 50, 60 games last couple of days?
Other than review stuff, not a huge amount. I played through a game called Effie the other day. It's a very nice little game. It lasts about 5.5, 6 hours. It's like a RPG action platformer, 3D sort of semi-open world. I enjoyed that. Played it from start to finish in a day. That was really good. I've been playing a game called Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde that came out recently. That's a sort of auto attack game, very much like Vampire Survivors and stuff like that. But in my opinion,
Oh.
I can't believe he dipped out again.
so
Oh,
it's literally as soon as I start talking about what I'm playing every week, every show, it cuts out. It's like, nope.
you get censored. Yep.
That's it. So
Yeah.
I don't know where I was up to, but I played Effie, really good little game. Play that. I played Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde, which just came out last week, I believe. And that's a sort of auto shooter game, very similar to Vampire Survivors. But better. I think it's better than Vampire Survivors. It has nicer art. It has special abilities, mini bosses and bosses and stuff like that. So I've been enjoying that. Played Sea of Thieves. Played through the Secret of Monkey Island first expansion DLC bit. So the first episode of that was a good laugh. Looking forward to the second one. And other than that, I've been downloading stuff ready to play, been getting stuff ready. A lot of sort of more indie-esque games. I said that I downloaded COD 3 as well the other day, picked that up. But I've picked up a game called Venice 2089, which looks really nice. I've got Guilt that I want to play through again because I played that on Stadia, so I'm looking forward to playing that on Xbox. And also the game that Meisuko was on about earlier is on my list to play as well. So I've also got one called A Painter's Tale in my list of things I want to play. So I've got a few little things, a few games I'm going to play through, mainly indie games and stuff like that. See if I get round to them. But yeah, it's been good. Been good. What I've played recently has been really good so far. So cannot complain.
Is that
Yeah,
the
I don't know.
passport game, Ash?
Is that what?
Passport. There is that artist game or
One that's called A Painter's Tale.
Painter's
Kuron.
Tale.
Yeah,
Okay.
A Painter's Tale Kuron. And then the game, the watercolor game, is that's on Game Pass is the other one I've downloaded. But A Painter's Tale, it came out about a month ago. It's an indie game. It's not amazing graphics or anything like that, but I picked it up for a very good price. So I thought, I'll just add that to my list. So there's so much on sale at the moment as well with all these ultimate sales and stuff.
Yeah.
Shameless
Yeah, for
plug.
sure.
I did a video looking through all of them. So if you do want to look at what's on offer on Xbox, there's a whole list of stuff there. And I've got a load of PSVR games that I've got sat waiting. So I will be playing them this week. I've put some time aside. I'm going to sit and play through some of them and get some footage recorded and stuff like that. But no, it's not Passport. I haven't got that yet, no.
Good. What have I been playing? My usual daily dose of Marvel Snap, because once you go Marvel, there is no rival. Like to get my couple of games in a day. A lot of people have well and truly overtaken from where I was because I've not put as much time into it because I have not had much time to put into it. But I do like to get me a couple of doses in of Marvel.
That's all I hear.
Marvel, best franchise in film and game ever created. Marvel Avengers, baby. Need to play that. You all need to get on that at some point before it goes. Oh, no, I think it's gone now, and it's gone out of Game Pass now. That's a shame. It's a shame. It was a fun game. Good story, but obviously the multiplayer was a little bit of a letdown. Well, yeah. Other than that, it's I've kind of given up on The Witcher 3. I just got bored. Got bored playing it, if I'm honest. I think was it last week we did a bit of Exo Primal. We gave that a bash. Not come back
Yeah,
to
I
that
enjoyed
yet,
that.
but yeah, it was fun, and I want to get back into playing a couple more games. But I also, for some whatever reason, it's making me want to reinstall Anthem and have a bit of a play around on Anthem. I missed that game. That was a fun game. I was day one for that. I'm gutted that it was the disaster that it was and not supported well. The way the loot drops was one of the biggest issues. Was they could just never fix it. They could never get it right. 1 minute you would get nothing but legendary drops, and the next minute you would get nothing for every other time that you play the game, which was strange. But it was a fun game. It was fun. The whole next getting in a suit, picking the free classes, and then going through the bit of an open world. It wasn't a huge open world, but it was fun. It was a fun game. The story was crap. Well, like the mechanics, as I think most people have said, that they nailed down the flying mechanics, which we're hoping they're going to bring into the Iron Man game that EA are working on. So with a bit of luck, that'll drop in there. I jumped into, other than that, all the only thing I've really jumped into, I did a bit of Star Wars Battlefront 2, had a play around on that. A bit of GTA Online, we did a little bit of that and didn't go so well. And just before we jumped on, I've just started. I've had it the whole time, but never actually got round to playing it. The story DLCs for Spider-Man, the PS5 version, not that one that Sentinel plays on his inferior console. And what about the great console, the thing that brings greatness into all our lives, the PlayStation 5?
I have a PlayStation 5 also, right? I'm just saying.
Do you? Oh yeah, you do. You do. So why have you been playing the PS4 version? Why aren't you getting the remaster?
Well, I mean, it depends on what's on sale. Sometimes I buy PS5 versions, but it just depends if the game is worth buying the PS5 version or if I'm happy playing the PS4 version.
Oh, you're missing out. You need the PS5 version. You're missing out.
Yeah.
Because you can also get Miles Morales, and you can still get it as a package or buy it individually. But I think the package is actually on sale on the PlayStation sale at the moment, the summer sale. So it might be worth looking at, mate. Might be worth looking at. Right, let's move into some topics. We'll start with, because we're showing the E3 press conference at the moment. Sony's infamous E3 2016 press conference is now available in 1080p for the first time. Sony's infamous E3 2006 press conference has been uploaded to YouTube in full HD for the first time. Arguably one of the most memorable E3 showcases ever, saw PlayStation fully unveil the PlayStation 3 with many of its awkward moments, such as giant enemy crab and Ridge Racer becoming early internet memes. The upload is made possible by the NoClip Game History Archive, an initiative that is seeing the game documentary channel convert and preserve tapes, discs containing early game assets. NoClip says it obtained hundreds of videotapes containing trailers, making of features, and news reports of classic video games, which it wants to digitize so they don't disappear forever. I'm assuming we have all seen this press conference anyway, not just from this what we're seeing now in beautiful 1080p, but I'm sure we all remember it. The price reveal.
Could you imagine
CEO...
if nowadays they did a press conference for a video game console, like the PS6 or the next Xbox, and they came out and went, it has Bluetooth, like on a PD, like a PowerPoint presentation slide, like they'd get slated if it's not just like explosions and stuff and like action. Look at this. He's got a room full of people and he's boring them to tears talking about the key features and benefits of having a PlayStation that you can't afford. Isn't this the one where they're like, well, get a second job if you want a PS3? Is this the one where they were like...
He didn't say it in the press conference. He said it was
7
got
players.
interviewed after. Got interviewed afterwards, and he turned around and when people said, don't you think the price is a bit high? And he said, well, it's the PlayStation. Get a second job to pay for it.
Yeah,
but
it's silly.
Do we all remember this? Remember this, Luke? Do you remember the infamous E3 showcase?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times actually. So I saw it once back in the day, and then I've seen it like twice since then. As I said, pre-show, Digital Foundry did a video where they just talk over this, and I think I've watched that at least once as well. Because it's so funny. It's just such a great conference because it's just full of really bizarre moments, and then topped off by here's a console for $600 or whatever, which was just at the time just totally bonkers, just absolutely totally bonkers. So yeah, it's a good one. It's not Konami 2010. That's the single greatest E3 conference of all time, but it's pretty close. It's like this, and then also the Xbox One Matrix reveal conference, and then also
just ahead of its time,
2010.
baby. That there were nothing wrong with that. It was just ahead of its time.
There was everything wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's everything wrong with that. There were everything wrong with this one, and everything wrong with the Xbox one as well.
Maybe
The
we'll have
Konami
to
one,
react to
nothing
some of these.
wrong.
I think that'd
Nothing
be
wrong with the
fun to
Konami
do.
one.
Yeah.
The Konami
It would
one
be
was
fun.
amazing.
It was
The Konami
amazing.
one
Yeah.
was amazing. Is this the one? Is this the one? Because there's some terrible ones. This is the one where it's historically accurate, isn't it? And then
Yeah,
they're
and here's a
fighting like
giant
massive
enemy
monsters
crab.
and stuff. Yeah, there's a giant crab. I still
Yeah.
laugh
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
I always remember that from Japanese history.
Yeah, that giant enemy crab.
Look at that though. It's got 0.68 gig of disk storage. Let's
Cool.
compare
Yeah,
it.
and
We'll
the-
show that off. We'll show that off compared to the PS1 and the Dreamcast. Like that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, but also, when they announced when it was coming out a year after, was it just shy of a year, or was it spot on a year after the 360? 360 came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy console, crazy price for even then. Even then, it was overly expensive. Nobody was a fan of the font style of the PlayStation 3 sign on the. I loved it. I
the
like
Spider-Man
that
font that
Spider-Man,
they
Spider-Man
literally
font,
stole
yeah.
from a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was a Easter egg for what was coming to the PlayStation 4.
Right. Yep.
That was it.
Long-term
That's it.
planning. That.
It was. They planted the seed all the way back then, and if you all missed it, then you're all stupid. I seen it. Masuku, what about yourself? Have you seen the showcase before? What?
Yeah, I was just remembering. So I think I was watching this from the Game Trailers website back in the day, like long time ago. But yeah, I was checking this before the show to remember this stuff a little bit more. And yeah, like you guys were saying, like this is so different. Coverage of the console, like it's so business orientated, like PowerPoints and it's like times really have changed, and now it's much more like this kind of event for normal people and not for business people. I think that the business people will get their like own shows and the numbers. I don't think this kind of numbers are so interesting for the normal gamers. Like they were spending a lot of time talking about different shipments and other things that really for gamers is maybe nice to know information, but yeah, I think we want to see the game trailers and so on. And,
Did we ever get a silver PS3? Looking at that in the background.
Yeah, we
there?
did.
I don't. Really,
Yeah.
I don't remember a silver PS3.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, and they did it. They did it in silver in the slim line. They did. I think in the slim line, was it about a year or 2 years later? You got it in black, white, silver. And I'm sure there was a blue one as well.
Yeah.
Did they really release them? Because I have never seen those in real life.
Yeah. Silver was released in the UK. I think the silver came out 6 months after the black one. But there was a silver PlayStation 3 because I had the silver one.
Yeah.
Get you.
Oh,
Beautiful
that's
console.
nice.
So you
never
can look
seen
at
a
his,
console
his
look
bald
better.
reflection in the shine of it,
Right.
buff his head.
Yeah.
Hang on, what would have been in 2006? So how many years ago was that now? What, 10, 14, 15, 17 years ago? I would have been 20. So yeah, I was bald. I was bald enough. Damn. Sentinel, what about yourself? Have you seen this show? Was it one of your best E3 shows that you'd ever seen?
Yeah, I remember watching it, and I definitely was shocked by the price. In retrospect, I understand why it was there, obviously because of the hardware emulation that was in the PlayStation 3s. But, I want to say that they should have first thought about a format that would have been, and a system that would have been good to transition from PS2 to PS3 without requiring so much investment in, hardware that was able to emulate those games. Instead, kind of do like what Xbox is doing now. That would have been obviously the better choice, because it was cost prohibitive, and because they needed to be more competitive, they eventually dropped the backwards compatibility with PS2 games. And as we know, the PS3, moving forward with the middle, I guess it's the middle of the console generation, with the slim version, they just went with able to play PS3 games and PS1 games, I believe, no PS2 games. And it feels like they were kind of trying to do it where, hey, you can play PS2 games on this as well, but because it costs so much for that hardware emulation, that it was just it didn't make any sense for them. And again, I understand that's why it was $600, but they should have gone about it differently, and then they wouldn't have had such a catastrophic result.
Yeah, it was a bad one, but it's it's one of them E3 showcases that will always be remembered, and the fact that No Clip are doing this, the restoring all the previous showcases and game features and things like that, so we can go back and watch them. I think that's quite an amazing thing. Keeps it alive, even though I'm sure Sony would want to forget this showcase ever happened.
Yeah,
but it's good that we can all go back nowadays on YouTube and other places and actually watch these things. And yeah, it's good. It's good, and it does bring back a lot of memories.
I just want to say though,
back from the day.
He's just sat us through a PowerPoint presentation telling us about these wireless controllers, and there could be 7 players, and that guy's got his pad plugged in. So don't tell me it's wireless and then have it plugged in. That's a kind of a bit.
You watch it later on. You wait until they showcase off the most amazing technology ever made, the 6-axis, and he's there flipping his controller.
I still like the one. The best one for me was when that little girl played that Connectimals game, and she was acting like it was actually hugging her, and it's like, no, it's not doing that. Yeah. Like you could tell she wasn't actually playing the game; she was just paid shill.
The best one was, what was the Connect designer's name? I can't remember. And he did that presentation, and he was like, "Oh, look, if you want to."
Peter Molyneux.
No.
He's like, "Look at my shoe."
Look at my shoe, and then the avatar just completely freaks out. It's brilliant.
Is this the one? So, is this the year with the pipe player, or is that a different year? When was Panpipe Man?
No, that wasn't this year.
Oh, that was the top.
No.
We're gonna have to. Maybe we'll have to do that. BMG. We'll have to sit and watch some of these and like do like a reaction video to them, because some of these are great. Just remember, we've just seen Phil Harrison, the only guy who can destroy multiple games consoles and companies and still keep getting hired.
It's for a tax write-off. That's why they do it. He comes in, destroys it, they write everything off.
He was here for the PS3. It bombed. He went to Xbox for the Xbox One. It bombed. Went to Stadia. Bombed. Doing good.
Killed it.
That's because they're picking businessmen over people that truly understand the industry that they're working in, And it's like to succeed at something and to have your company succeed, you got to understand basically what the fuck you're talking about and what people enjoy about your content, about what you're selling to them. And if you have someone who has a business degree and he's worked for banks or wherever, and it's like he's moving from one executive position to another, unless you sit him in a chair and you have him playing these games 8 hours a day, 5 days a week until he knows what the hell he's talking about, there's no way he can manage this type of content or this type of company effectively because he doesn't understand it. I think that was his biggest problem.
No, he was just hired to go and kill companies. That's what he's
exactly.
That's his job.
Exactly.
That's it.
Kind of like Jim Ryan, yeah.
I mean, Phil Harrison is a bit of a dickhead, but in fairness to him, he was like back in the 80s, he was like a game designer, and then I think he worked at Sony since like the early 90s, so he did know.
So he has no excuse for dropping the ball.
Well, yeah. So he did. The knowledge element isn't the issue with Phil Harrison. It's probably the decision element that's the thing that's his undoing. So
shame.
That's why you shouldn't rely on a magic 8-ball to make your decisions.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how I ended up getting married and had kids.
Oh, wow. No comment.
Oh, but mine was a cool. It wasn't a normal magic 8-ball. I remember when I was a lot younger. Aladdin. Even today, the animated one is still my favorite Disney film of all time. And Robin Williams playing the genie. I had the genie that stuffed inside the lamp, and you pulled him out. And then I had the lamp where it was like a magic 8-ball. You shook it, lifted up the top, and it would tell you different phrases and things like that. Childhood memories. Not many good ones, but that was one. Right, let's move on. Ubisoft clarifies that it won't delete game libraries due to game inactivity after fan panic. Obviously, a story came out that Ubisoft said that it was closing down unused accounts, and pretty much you would lose any game that you bought library, you would lose complete access to it. It was gone. So, and a fan had actually gone on literally on Twitter, or is it X now? Are we calling it X now, or is it
no? We're
Twitter
calling it Twitter because we're not bellends. X is a stupid name by an absolute moron who literally doesn't know what he's doing in his life. He's took what made Twitter interesting, ripped it apart, shit on it, put it back together, and then thought, oh, do you know what? While we're not making any money, I may as well rebrand it to X because X sounds so exciting. Like, it's literally like a baby having a tantrum, but it's that rich it gets its own way. So it just keeps doing stupid stuff.
He should have sent.
What he needs is a slap.
He should have sent Vince McMahon a check and just called it DX. There you go.
No, that's what he should have done. He should just fuck off into space and not come back. Go off on his own little fucking spaceship and just never come back.
Right.
Take Vince while he's at it as well.
Yeah, take Vince while he's at it. Vince can
Get
fondle him
him
on the spaceship.
Yeah, so Triple H can get back to making great shows. Yep.
Hey, WWE is like at a great level at the moment, but every now and then, just Vince slides his little greasy fingers over it. So,
yeah.
So what will we be? Because obviously it's not going to be a tweet anymore. What are we going to be sending out? What's the name?
Exit, it's called apparently. Exit. Just tweet.
That
They've got rid of the
sense.
TW and put an X at the beginning.
That's pretty stupid.
And then when you upload your Twitter videos now, they're now X videos.
Oh my god!
Going to make it a bit harder to download them anyway, isn't it? And like, let me put my. Going to start looking a bit dodgy now.
X's in there by accident when you're doing.
Not going to be able to get on Twitter at work anymore because that's going to get flagged up.
Right? Yeah.
Can't wait to send out my first Zeet. Anyway, over the weekend, fans of Ubisoft games underwent a minor panic as rumours spread that Ubisoft will be spontaneously deleting inactive Ubisoft accounts, permanently destroying digital game libraries if users aren't logging on often enough. However, Ubisoft has now clarified that this is false, and users' digital game libraries are safe, even if their accounts are inactive. The rumours were kicked off when Zeet circulated showing an email entitled Ubisoft account closure due to inactivity. The email instructed the recipient's Ubisoft account has been temporarily suspended and will be closed permanently in 30 days unless the closure was cancelled by the owner. Again, they just put the tweet out saying Ubisoft closes your... Oh, no, ignore that. The email was then confirmed to be legitimate by the official Ubisoft support X account, which irritated. I don't like that. Why change the name? You change the picture, do whatever you want, but why change
For
the name?
simplicity.
Imagine now if like Facebook change it to like T.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Oh,
we'll just keep
geez.
it Twitter. It's Twitter to everybody in the,
Find
in the
us.
fucking
Find
world.
us.
It's
You know
Twitter.
what, guys? Look, it's going across the bottom of the screen. Find us somewhere else. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
We're on
on
X.
TikTok. We're on
You need to
Threads.
update that.
No,
'cause
I'm
it
not.
still
I'm not
says
updating
Twitter.
it.
And should in Facebook Meta now? Did they not change that name? Is that not Meta now?
No, that's just
Or is that the company?
that's just the holding company.
Ah, yeah, because Twitter's now not Twitter Corporation, it's X Corp,
Yes.
which does sound better. I do like the sound of that. X Corp.
No, because it sounds like what's his face?
Lex Luthor.
No,
LexCorp?
is it Global Tech? I can't remember the Simpsons episode with Hank Scorpion or whatever his name is. Scorpio.
I think
Sam?
Elmo thinks that's what he's like. You know, I think he thinks like he's some sort of like evil genius, but he's. Do you know what? I'm looking forward to this cage match. I'm ready for Zuckerberg to beat the shit out of him. Like, that's a pay-per-view worthy. That put it 50 quid, put it to charity. You'll make millions. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think
Aid for
Zuckerberg.
Ukraine. Let's do it.
He's got the edge because he's an android, definitely.
Exactly. It's like Terminator, who actually knows how to do like kung fu and shit because he trains in some sort of martial art. He won a tournament the other week,
Right?
beating the shit out of a semi-obese idiot. It's just gonna
there
be.
you go. I mean,
Interesting.
Zuckerberg's so skinny he just turned sideways, and Elon Musk won't be able to hit him. You know.
You just stare at him. You'll just give him that weird, crazy stare, and it'll just throw him off. And
Yeah.
Elon will like not know where he is or who he is.
Oh,
Yeah, it's mentally undressing with his big, freaky, bulging eyes.
oh, Jesus.
So yeah, the email was confirmed to be legitimate by the official Ubisoft support Twitter/X account, which reiterated the given instructions for cancelling the pending account closure. While all this is legitimate, what caused people to panic was context offered by the original poster, who claimed that you will lose all your games forever. In an email to IGN, Ubisoft clarified its stance on account deletions. The publisher confirmed it has for many years now deleted inactive accounts in accordance with EU's General Data Protection Regulation and how long companies are permitted to store individual personal information. The company claims its policies are aligned with legal requirements and with standards of the industry, and that they are also serve as fraud prevention. However, Ubisoft has clarified its criteria for account deletion, noting that it absolutely does not include accounts that have purchased games attached to them. The publisher, it takes the following into account: the gaming activity of the account since its creation, the accounts libraries, accounts that include purchased PC games are not eligible for deletion, the duration of inactivity of the account, meaning the last login in our ecosystem. In practice, as of today, we have never deleted accounts that have been inactive for less than 4 years. The existence of an active subscription tied to the account. Ubisoft added that emails such as the one circulated are sent to users 30 days prior to account deletion, and if user tries to log in during that window, they will receive a notification and a link to reactivate the account upon login. You can read more about their policy on the official Ubisoft website. So it's well, pretty much that. Yeah, they're doing what is now law in the EU and other places, that you can only store information for so long. You have to delete it, and things like that. It's good that you're not going to lose your library if your account goes inactive, and for the sake of literally logging on, click a link to reactivate it, you're good for another 4 years. So I don't think it's really as big of an issue as people have made out. Sentinel, what about you? Are you scared of losing any of your content?
It's like I've bought all the Ubisoft titles, and most of them I think I purchased digitally. I'm sure a lot of the guys on this panel are the same way. Most of your purchases now are probably digital. I think because it's shifting a lot more to digital, Ubisoft really needed to get ahead of this. Because moving forward, that's going to be a main focus of gaming. And if you have a news story or someone, out there spreading this type of rumor or this misinformation or whatever you want to call it, whether it was a misunderstanding or whatever it was, Ubisoft needs to get out there and denounce this, because going forward, a lot of these companies really need to embrace the digital future, and Ubisoft is in a perilous situation right now. Aside from this whole debacle, we look at it like they canceled Phoenix Rising, I think, was the sequel that they canceled. And of course, you have Skull and Bones, nowhere to be found. You have these other games that got canceled from Ubisoft. So negative news right now is absolutely not what they need. And I think them reacting so quickly to this in only a day is an indication that, one, they're aware that their company is in some moderate trouble, and two, they're trying to restore faith in their company. And a lot, because like I said, everybody's transitioning to digital. So they want people to say, hey, you know what? At least they addressed this and said I won't be losing my content. Me personally, if I lost my Ubisoft titles, I would be pissed, but I would probably just move on to something else. Just because, yeah, they're my favorite, they're one of my favorite gaming companies, or they used to be, but I've already played their games to death, and there's a lot of other stuff coming out. So they don't want to lose relevancy, so they want to stay up there and maintain that level, or at least maintain some level of credibility with the gamers. That's just my take on it.
Masuku, what about yourself? Is this something you're worried about?
Yeah.
Do you use your Ubisoft account?
Yes, I do. On PC side, so I don't know how it actually works on the console side, but on PC, it's like normally when you buy games from Steam, they link into the Ubisoft account, and then they are saved there as well, so you can pretty much launch them, either one of them. So yeah, I have some games there, but when I saw the Zeet or tweet or whatever you call them, I was thinking like this must be not correct, because you shouldn't be removing accounts that quickly. If they have some content there, that's just like waiting for trouble for yourself. So yeah. I think it's good that they clarified it now before it gets any bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, they had to.
Yeah.
It was because obviously stuff like that circulates. It's you've got to get back on message. But yeah, they're only doing what companies have to do now: Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, or you know, if you've got Amazon, Netflix, all that sort of stuff. Everything has to do that now. Within the EU, you have to. You can only hold on to data for so long, and then you have to notify them you're deactivating the account if it's not active. It's the whole thing that was it last year that it came into law, or year before. I can't remember. Where they brought it in, where you can't hold on to it if people are paying for subscriptions and they've not been using them subscriptions. You have to notify them that it's going to be that they're paying for something they're not using, or deactivate and cancel the subscription. Luke, what about yourself? Are you was you panicking? Was you rushing to log in online to Ubisoft Connect or Uplay, whatever it's called, to make sure you didn't lose the 2 games that you own on there?
No, I don't even know if I do own any games, but if I do, I hope it gets shut down, because I can just get rid of them then. So, and then I won't have them on my conscience. But no, I don't think that I have any. Maybe I have one. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, yeah, much ado about nothing, really, isn't it? They have to, as you say, because of GDPR, do this sort of stuff. Everybody does. I think Ubisoft got themselves into a bit of a pickle because some of their terms of service directly contradict some of the things that they're saying about account deletion, how it works. But I suspect they'll revise their terms and conditions pretty quickly as a result of this. So yeah, I don't think people need to be too worried about it. And I mean, just log on every so often. You don't have to do anything on it. You just log into your account. You don't have to play any games there. But yeah, just it's Ubisoft, isn't it? So who cares, really? Pointless.
That's it.
Pointless.
Oh my God! Like a punch to the chest. I don't believe it. Oh my God! But you know what though? You know what? I guess, Luke, it's well deserved because Ubisoft has put themselves in a precarious situation, and it's all self-inflicted. So it's deserved. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in general a bit worried about Ubisoft. Like it's like one of those companies that I'm not sure what is their vision. Like EA was in this kind of situation a few years ago, but they have at least got their stuff together. But I don't know what Ubisoft is planning to do.
Yeah, you know, with Ubisoft, it's like I know we've all heard the head guy for Ubisoft, BMG. What is his name? I can't even pronounce it.
The head guy of
Ubisoft, yeah.
Oh,
The guy that insulted all his workers.
Yves Guillemot.
There you go.
Bonjour.
There you go. He basically said it was the workers' fault that Ubisoft was suffering and that it was up to them to rescue it from essentially mistakes that him and management have made. And, you know, again, that was such a poor move, especially from management to blame your workers. But that's just like the tip of the iceberg with a lot of what's gotten Ubisoft in this position. So it's up to management a lot of times with these types of situations to get their company out of trouble. With Electronic Arts, thankfully, you know, they made fun of single player games. They got dragged for it. And we saw how they handled the Star Wars games. They got dragged for it by Kathleen Kennedy and Disney. So it's not that Electronic Arts figured it out on their own. It's that they made mistakes and were called out on it. And that's, I think, why they're making some of these improvements. And it's like Ubisoft isn't going to learn until they get the same treatment.
Oh, look at that beautiful PSP on screen right now.
Just-
Sony
Yeah, it's
making new
definitely
It's
underrated.
handhelds.
not going to be a
I love
Project
the
Q, though,
PSP.
is it? It's not going to live up to Project Q.
Yeah.
It's not. But we'll come to that one. We'll come with that. Is it? We have that as a topic.
Project Q,
Ash,
the
what?
most pointless device ever made.
Hey, did
What
you
are you
did
talking about?
wait.
Look, if you want to play your
Wash your mouth
PS5
out.
7 meters away from your TV,
Yeah.
then Sony's got a
handheld.
device to sell you.
Did
on
any
a
of you
handheld.
guys have the PSP Go?
Yeah.
The
Was
little
that
one
the
with
little
digital?
thin?
Yeah.
Yes,
Ahead
I
of
did.
its time. Ahead of its time.
Yeah, but then they didn't put half the games on it, so it was
I
pretty
know.
pointless. So yeah, I enjoyed that, but like, yeah, I could only play half the games I owned. And they said they were originally said they were going to sort some sort of conversion tool, and then they never did.
Yeah. And the PS Vita, they didn't support it. It's so tragic.
No, the
It could
PS
have
Vita
been-
was such a good handheld.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like both of them. I had the 3000 model of the original PSP.
Oh, nice.
So many
Yeah.
good games on that one.
Beautiful
I'm
console.
surprised Sony hasn't ported more PSP games to console because there are some amazing games on PSP and PS Vita.
But
Right.
we know what Jim Ryan thinks about PS1 games, so he's going to look at PSP games and says, "Who would play these old crappy games?" Oh, breaks my heart. Sucks.
Yeah, and
Oh,
think
dear.
about like what I have seen some videos on YouTube about the modern PSP emulators that can upscale the graphics.
Oh yeah, they're
so
amazing. PSPP, I think it is.
yeah.
It looks better than it ever did, and it runs
Yeah,
it's very
like
good.
flawlessly.
Yeah.
Highly
So-
recommend it to play PSP games.
So I think with something like that, there could be a market to play some of those old classics.
Definitely.
Of course, if
What about
it's
you, Ash?
yeah,
Sorry. No,
if
go
it's
on, go on, you're on.
sprite-based game, then of course the upscaling isn't working. But if it's 3D, then it's fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to your question about Ubisoft, I don't care. Like, I haven't bought any games digitally on PC through the Ubisoft store or anything. All my stuff that's Ubisoft is through Xbox, so I ain't got anything to worry about. And I log into the Kinect sort of like once a month anyway, because I have it connected to all like the Assassin's Creed games. So every now and then I log in and see what free skins I've unlocked in games and stuff like that. So I say it monthly, maybe every 2 months, but I check it every now and again. And I'll check it more when the new Assassin's Creed comes out, but they've got to actually release games for it. So, like, I'd check my Ubisoft Connect if there was a Ubisoft game I was playing. But, like I say, there's not been a whole lot recently. We're still waiting for Mirage. Knockoff Sea of Thieves.
Have you seen what's coming with Mirage?
What?
The Owie, is it Owie vest? It's like a haptic vest you put on, and then when you like get stabbed and stuff like that, you feel it in different
Who
parts.
wants
Where you get
that?
stabbed on your body,
Who
you
wants that?
physically feel it.
Do any of you guys
They
want
had
that?
the
Do you
pants
want to
as
be?
well.
If
So if you was in
who
a
wants to
No.
be physically stabbed? No one wants to feel the pain of being physically stabbed.
Yeah,
yeah,
probably
but
not.
imagine if you got the pants and you were doing a bit of a naughty scene and you got a bit of vibration in the lower area. I'd be all for that.
My God.
New interactive porn.
Jesus Christ.
Just give it a tug, mate. You don't have to pay for some special pants. You've got a hand, use it. Bloody hell.
Why have a dog
This
and
is
bark
why
yourself?
This is why tripe like that sells, because people like BMG buy it. Like, oh yes, I always wanted some wank pants. Oh, I better spend £200 on them. Jesus.
He's sounding better and better when you say it that way.
What the fuck? Oh.
Let's see what Amazon's got. Anyway, let's move on. Since we're just talking about the handhelds, we might as well talk about another handheld. PlayStation's Project Q images and footage leak online. This comes from Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. Several images of PlayStation's new Project Q have leaked online thanks to Reddit user u/Adi Aode NBN. Don't know why people pick
Don't
such
butcher it much,
complicated names.
BMG. Like, don't worry.
Well, no, it's just it is what it is. Subsequently, some footage of Project Q was also uploaded by ex-user Zubitech, which was sent to Insider Gaming under anonymity a couple of days ago. Insider Gaming was able to verify the images and footage of its sources. Project Q, which was internally called the Q Lite, is understood to have a 3 to 4 hour battery life and is scheduled to launch November this year. I'm assuming we have all seen the images. We knew what it looked like, but has anyone watched the little very short clips where they're showing the front, the back, the touch screen?
Yeah, I've watched it and it looks nice. But
does it though?
Like, it just looks like
Does it look nice?
They've just cut a pad in half and stuck a tablet in the middle of it. That's what it looks like. I mean, it does the job. But like, what do you need an Android tablet stuck between two halves of a PlayStation pad for?
It looks heavy and it looks like it could easily snap.
But
I'm also wondering if
does
that screen come out? Does that screen? I wonder because from when they were like turning it over and stuff like that, it looks like the screen actually slots out.
Why would you have a screen that slots out? What is the point in that?
So you can do the Nintendo Switch, but just not
Yeah.
one in your
Yep.
house.
But
There you
only
This
2
is-
meters away from your existing
Yeah.
telly.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think it slots out. I just think it's because they dismantled it, so it looks a bit more maneuverable. But I think it's just soldered in basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of how it looks. I think it's lazy designing. They could have made it so you've got the tablet. They could have changed the controller so it actually like the Nintendo Switch where they're on the sides. They could have done something like that. You know, who cares about? I'm not really bothered about the haptics and stuff in something like this. I would sooner have it as if it's just literally was a handheld. Yeah, fair enough. It's only going to be something that works over Wi-Fi, but you know, sometimes I go for a shit and it takes me an hour. You know, I'm getting old. So something like that would work for me. You know, I'd keep it in the bathroom. It'll just sit in there and something to keep myself amused while you know doing what I got to do. But yeah, it's I think I like it less from when it was first shown off officially. I don't like it. I think it looks
When
too
have they shown
big
it off
and
officially?
flimsy. The
Was it
PlayStation
the last
event.
showcase? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when they
Was
announced
it?
it.
Oh right. Well,
We watched it.
Yeah.
Did we? Oh well, like
It was only brief.
it was that important and that interesting to me. I'd rather watch this giant crab in a second, guys. I tell
It's
you.
coming.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
It's
I
gonna
am
be-
also playing a video game on Xbox right now. I apologize. Sorry, guys.
Traitor.
Masuku, have you watched the video of it? Is it something you would be interested in, or is it? Do you think again it's just something that's going to be a waste and probably die like the PSVR 2?
Yeah, I think that since it's tethered to the console, I guess it's I mean like by the home Wi-Fi. I don't see that much use for myself because it would have to be like a real portable, so that it would be more useful taking it on trips and stuff. And so I don't know. I'm not sure what's the market for this.
Now, if they add a PSP and a PS Vita store on it and it plays those games, you can download them and then you have to stream everything else. I'd probably pick it up just so I could play the PS Vita games and the PSP games, but I bet they don't. I don't think Sony are that like.
It wouldn't even be that powerful to emulate.
No,
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Right, so yeah, if it was powerful enough to emulate those games effectively, then it would be a local device.
That's what I mean. I'd
yeah.
love to see them like do a handheld like that, combine the stuff that people actually want with this crap cloud. That no one plays cloud. We've seen cloud. Cloud is a dream that isn't happening just yet, guys. It's down the pipeline. So give me a new PSP. That's what I want. Let me play old PSP. Literally, if you gave me a device that I could buy PSP games, or even the old ones at 10 quid a pop, I'd probably buy loads of them and play them.
Yeah.
But they don't. This is the same problem with Nintendo. They lock down all the classic IP and like hoard them and don't let us have them. And I never understand it at all. It's just weird. Give us what we want.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day, like PSP was really good playing the old first generation of PlayStation games. Like it worked really well.
Yeah, they put them on, didn't they? I bought a load of PS1 games on my PS3, which now don't convert over because they don't have any sort of forward compatibility. But
Yeah.
no, Daz, we're not dirty emulators like you. We support the devs. As a PlayStation fan, I thought you'd understand supporting devs, mate. Disappointing. BMG, you need to have a word with him after the show. Clearly, he pretends to be a pony.
He has converted,
He's not
though.
supporting. No, he's like fake conversion.
He painted his room
blue.
blue.
Those devs.
He's always buying them games. He's painted his room blue. He pretty much. I'm sure he said. I heard him say once that Xbox is pretty much dead to him. He can't understand why anyone gets Game Pass because why would you do that when you've got all these amazing $70 games on PlayStation, which is correct, you know. So it's don't worry, UK Dazarus, I'll stick up for you, mate, and I know where your loyalties lie. Sentinel, I know you're a very big fan of PlayStation. You've been trying for months now to get back into Jim Ryan's good books. I take
Right.
it you will be picking this up.
No, definitely not. You know what though? It's like I will say if they allowed you to download games to it, then I would say sure, why not? I'll check it out. But if not, then it makes no sense.
Right,
Also,
someone
how
on
much
their
is it going to
phone.
be? Have they announced it yet?
I don't even know.
No.
No.
If it's like $100 or like
It'd be
100 quid,
expensive.
it's more interesting. But it's not going to be, is it? It's going to be expensive as it's going to be like 500 quid.
I think.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think it's going to hit somewhere between 150 and 200 because a DualSense is what, 70 quid, $70 for a
yeah.
DualSense. That screen's gonna.
Oh.
Yeah. You're talking. I think you're talking about $149.99.
I think
Gina sold his PS5. Right.
Yeah.
I
Drop
think if
him a
they
ban.
go they go above, yeah, I mean if they go anywhere above 200, it's even more DOA than it is at the moment, right? Because how do you even just? I mean, at least for PSVR 2, you can say it's a really high spec, kind of mostly bleeding edge piece of hardware. So you can justify, it's an expensive amount, but you can justify it by reference to what it is. With this, it's literally an Android tablet with a bespoke controller that streams locally. So it has to come in fairly cheap because otherwise, what's the point? Who's going to buy it? Who's going to buy it anyway? But especially who's going to buy it if it's over £200? Then
Right.
again, I saw people spending, hundreds and hundreds of dollars and pounds on that stupid Logitech cloud streaming handheld as well. So there are, that's got you more utility than this.
Yeah,
But people will, for some reason, buy these things sometimes. So maybe, Sony must have seen something out there in the market to suggest that people are going to buy this, otherwise they won't bother making it. But I don't know who.
Yeah.
Someone, and what they should get is every purchaser gets a big sticker that says "moron" and it has to be branded onto the forehead, so we all know.
Yeah, definitely.
It literally, what it'll say is, "This person pays for Twitter Blue." That's what it'll say, and we'll all know what that means.
There you go.
Well, that's going to be rebranded. Is it going to be X Blue now?
Well, it's weird. Like
Bit-
half of it
bit
says
blue for
Twitter,
the
and half
dads.
of it says X. It just makes no fucking sense.
Bit of blue for the dads.
Bit of blue.
Bit of blue.
Bit of blue.
Bit of blue. Speaking of more other leaks, PlayStation 5 Pro release date plans and console details. This comes from Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming. The PlayStation 5 Pro is aiming for a November 2024 release, according to a new report from Key to Gaming. The PS5 Pro, codenamed Project Trinity, which I think has that. I can't remember who it was that pretty much confirmed that was the project's name, is already having demo events held to showcase the improvements. It's also stated that the majority of studios will receive development kits by late November 2023. As far as specs are concerned, those, according to the report, have been tough to obtain. However, two things that we do know that the PlayStation 5 Pro will feature: 18,000 MTs memory and 30 work group processor. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. That could mean absolutely anything, and I haven't got a clue.
Weren't they throwing around that it was going to be like pure 8K as well the other day? Someone was telling me. I swear I heard that.
We're getting to that. We're getting to that. Don't worry. We're getting to that.
Yeah, after this generation, I don't believe that shit. No way.
Hey, my PlayStation 5 box says it's got 8K on it, so of course it does 8K.
Right.
In fact, I think there's only one 8K game actually out, which you can get now. Was it called the Tourist or something like that?
Yeah, it's a Tourist, yeah.
And you can play it in 8K.
That's 8K on Xbox. In Xbox as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's native though. I think it's downsampled.
Yeah, it's
So it's
not
8K
pure
internal
8K.
resolution, and then it's downsampled to 4K.
Yeah,
But you're
8K.
baffling
Great
him.
looking
He just sees 8K, and he's like, "Uncle Jimmy
That's
promised
it.
me."
It's 8K. They wouldn't
Yeah.
lie. They would not put it on the box of the most prestigious console ever to be
fucking
graced planet Earth if it was alive. Performance targets for the PS5 include improved frames per second, as well as better FPS stability performance at 4K resolution, an 8K performance mode, and accelerated ray tracing. The last thing mentioned in the report is that the PS5 Pro is likely to be the last major hardware release from Sony for the current generation. After that, the focus is expected to shift development onto what we'll all be buying, the PlayStation 6. Are we all going to be trading in next year our PlayStation 5s to get the Pro? Ash, come to you first, sir. Is this something that interests you? Are you going to be getting the new console?
So I've heard a
happy
few
with
things.
your-
I've heard we might be getting like a mid, like either an updated like mid-gen upgrade, and I've also heard we might be getting a sort of just like with new parts, so it just runs slightly better, but it's the same machine. It's like, you know, when they find cheaper parts and stuff, and they re-release them. You know, like the PS3 had multiple versions and PS4 did, but they were all basically the same thing. It could be that, but I don't know. Like I say, honestly, I'm not in a massive rush. I don't play my PlayStation 5 enough, and I don't think there's enough currently available that warrants that kind of investment. Not in this generation. There's nothing that's currently pushing these consoles like to the point I go, "Ooh, I want to see what else they can do." So I don't know yet. I'm undecided. However, like if it meant like the PSVR 2 ran better, maybe I'd be interested. But like I say, at the moment, there's no concrete details. I don't think there's needed when they're still selling so well, and there's a lack of competition and stuff. But you never know. You never know. Who knows?
Yeah, and there
that's
is
it.
also.
Go on, Mr. Go,
Yeah, I
go
was just
ahead.
about to say, like, and there is also the issue, like, since the technology now is getting much more expensive when they are dropping the nodes down in size, they are not probably able to sell it with a customer friendly price.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I just think if this is what the PS5 is now, what's this new one gonna cost? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got also, I suppose, you've got to remember, come further down the line, manufacturing costs drop. So I think it's rather going to come in at the same price or slightly cheaper, and then a big drop in the PlayStation 5.
you are smoking some massive
No.
crack if you think a pro console this generation is going to come out cheaper than the existing one.
Especially when they just didn't
Where's
they just
your
like
face?
last year they had like a price increase, didn't they?
Yeah, in Europe, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way it's going to be cheaper.
Well,
There's no way.
But PlayStation are dropping the price of PlayStation 5. Is it $75 in America and £50 in the UK? They're actually dropping the price again.
I think it's 75 in the UK. It's rumored to be as well.
Oh, 75. Yeah. So 75 in the UK. So they're going to be cheaper than Xbox. So you want a cheaper, better console? PlayStation's where you want to be.
Yeah, but you're under the assumption that Xbox won't react. I don't think Xbox are going to sit there and go, "Oh, hang on."
Yeah.
But they have. But Phil
You've got
Spencer
your
has
Pro,
come
it's
out
a
and
Series
said,
X.
yeah.
You got your Pro.
But hasn't Phil Spencer come out? He has said that they're not going to be doing.
Well, it's not going to come out and say they are because no one would
refresh.
buy it. Like, if Sony came out tomorrow and said next Christmas we're bringing out a better PlayStation 5, their sales would drop because everyone's going to be like, "Well, why am I going to buy this fucking box? I'll wait." So Xbox aren't going to come out and go, yeah, we're going to do one as well, because that's stupid, and that means people will not buy what's available right now. It's just business. They have to wait, and they have to pretend and act dumb and be like, no, we've not got a pro console. I can't see them not doing it. I can't see them not reacting. They haven't got that like Nintendo fanboy blindness where they could literally just release a turd and stick a Nintendo sticker on it and it would sell. They would be crucified by players if they didn't compete, especially after coming out saying we won't be like left behind on power and stuff again. Like, you can't say that and then be left behind on price and power. Like, you just look like an idiot. So I don't know. I am unsure, but I honestly don't think Xbox will watch Sony do it and not follow on with it, basically. Or that's my opinion anyway.
Yeah. Finbo says, honestly, am I the only one who thinks it's bullshit? As Luke says, yeah, no, Tom Henderson is, he's quite bob on with his leaks, especially as it comes to hardware and things, and everything that he has said has come to pass. So, and he is a guy that he makes sure he checks his sources, verifies it, checks his inside sources and things like that. So he's one that you could say you could trust if he's, if he's confirming it and doing an article on it. It's pretty much it's gonna be happening. Sentinel, what about you? Are you because I know you've not long got your PlayStation 5. Would you pick up a Pro? Would a Pro be interesting, or are you happy with what you've got?
I know I want to say that I would not pick it up, but as soon as my wife hears about it, she'll be like, "Hey, we need to get that for you," and I'll be like, "All right," not like I'm gonna tell her not to, right? But because that's how she is when new game consoles come out. She's like, "Hey, we need to pick that up for you whenever it's available," and I'm like, even if I'm kind of like, I don't really need it. A lot of times she'll pick it up for me anyway. So, and it's like you know what? I feel like the technology, like the hardware, is capable, but the developers are not.
Yes.
I feel like the hardware is capable of so much more, but a lot of the developers are, they're just not keeping up with the curve, so to speak. And we've seen this with a number of games. It's not PlayStation centric. It's not Xbox centric. It's some of these developers are worth their salt more than others. You look at, and sometimes it's gameplay choice, sometimes it's the size of the world they're trying to do, but they just have not fully had enough time to really get everything out of the PlayStation 5 that they can. Do I think that by the end of this console generation we're going to see 60 frames per second locked at 4K on a standard PlayStation 5? Yes. But again, it's up to the developers to really push these consoles to the limit, and it takes more time, and that's kind of where there's kind of like a balancing act. Give these developers all the time they need to put these games out at the best quality, or have them out within 36 months, or 48 months, because it's like, yeah, they are paid a certain amount to make this game, and it's AAA, but the people that are producing this game, the people that are footing the bill for it, they're not going to wait for 10 years. Not everyone's like Rockstar Games where they can take as long as they want. So they got to find a balance with the developers. So it's like PS5 Pro. I mean, like I said, my wife will probably buy it for me, but me personally, if it was up to me, I'd say I'm not feeling it.
I also feel like it's not just AAA though. There's a lot of indie devs that, for one reason or another, just aren't optimizing their games at this moment in time.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a money and a time thing and stuff, but if they took the time and effort to optimize their games better, they could get them running much at much better resolutions, at better frame rates and stuff. But I 100% understand why they don't, but I'm not the one making it. I'm just paying for it, so I want it to be as good as it can be. So sorry, guys. Suck up and sort it.
You know what though? I mean, we even look at studios like Rocksteady, who made the Batman games, and they were phenomenal. But this most recent game, Suicide Squad, even that level of studio is still having problems. Fully, I guess, optimizing a game to its true potential on current generation systems. It seems like it's just taking them longer this generation to really make the game as great as it's supposed to be, as opposed to previous generations. I don't know. Maybe that's because of the tech.
Maybe. Luke, I know you'll be getting one of these because you like to be at the top range in console and PC. So this will be a day one buy for you, won't it? To support our adopted uncle, Sir Jimmy Ryan.
Big Jim. Yeah, Big Jim. I probably would, get it just because I think I wouldn't get it if they were bringing their games day one to PC. But because they're not, then I'd prefer just to, get something that can do even better with their games, right? Which would be a pro console. How powerful? How more powerful it's going to be than the PS5? Don't know. It could be probably a chunk better, but I'm not sure what that actually will translate to in terms of developers, optimizing for that console, although they will. So yeah, I mean, it's weird actually. I think like a lot of the PlayStation first party games this gen have been some of the best looking things on this gen. I don't really think their studios, as in Sony's studios, have particular issues with hardware. It seems to be everybody else, or with some exceptions, I should say. Not everybody else. But there's a lot of games coming out at the moment on these consoles that are like their performance targets are just bizarre. If you look at even like Remnant 2 that just came out, that's a UE5 game, so admittedly it's pushing stuff a bit more because it has nanite, but I think the 60 FPS mode in that, drops to 800p with a 60 FPS target. Final Fantasy 16 was another one, right? When you play that in the performance mode, I mean, I think clearly that was just, I suspect that will get better over time because it was clearly rushed, but drops to 720p at times in performance. So I don't quite know what's going on with some of it, whether it's just that developers are struggling with the hardware. I don't think they're struggling in terms of knowing how to make games on this hardware, because it's not exactly complex. It's not cell processor, right? It's not a custom, a fully custom kind of architecture or anything. But there clearly are issues from a lot of developers. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll start to see better stuff in the next few years in terms of third party, both in terms of visual benchmarks and performance and that sort of thing. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'll get a PS5 Pro. If the leap's good enough, then yeah, I'd probably trade a PlayStation 5 in and get the Pro. But if they're in between now and that time, they announce day one PC games, I wouldn't get it.
Yeah. You PC peasants aren't getting day one PlayStation exclusive games.
Well, we're not. I mean, that's
we're
not.
Yeah, it'll never happen. We Jim, he gives you right. Okay, they all want to play Ratchet and Clank. Let's give them that, but you need an SSD to, lightning fast SSD for it to run properly. Yeah, we're going to let you use a standard hard drive, but it's going to be lower quality than that because, just keep you PC peasants happy. You want to play these games how they're meant to be played properly, looking amazing, haptics and all the rest. Get a PlayStation 5.
No one wants the haptics.
Everyone wants the haptics.
No, we don't. We don't want the fucking adaptive triggers. We just want a pad. That's all we want.
Yeah, but that's why you're mainly an Xbox gamer, because because
the pad's
just set up
nice.
the same controller. Yeah, but it's PlayStation are always pushing things forward, and they are the best console ever made.
Are they?
Again,
You know what? I want to say this about PlayStation. The haptic triggers and all those little gimmicks. It's nice for games like Astrobot, but for Sniper Elite, it's like I turned them off because I didn't enjoy having them. So it depends on the game. Like some of them, Grand Theft Auto 5 is great for this because of the little speaker in the controller, and you get the phone calls through the controller. That's such a nice touch. But other games with the haptic feedback on the triggers, it's just annoying. So it's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
when it's a built-for experience, it's great. Like Astrobot is amazing.
Yes, it is.
But like I was playing that Little Big Planet, the Sackboys Adventure. It just gets fucking annoying. It vibrating all the time and shit. And you're just like, I don't care. And when your pad shouts shit at you, you're like, shut the fuck up. Stop talking.
So
you're telling me you didn't like Death Stranding with the baby crying out?
No,
I
didn't.
Controller to
Loved
put
it.
the baby to sleep.
No.
Realism, baby.
It's not though, is it? Because it's not real baby. It's a controller.
There's a real baby in there.
There is.
I really
It's in
love the controller, and I really like the features, but I do agree that some developers put more effort into it than others. So, for Final Fantasy 16, for example, is probably the lowest grade effort for the features of the DualSense I've ever seen.
Well,
because-
in PlayStation's defense, that's a third party though.
Well, yeah, but you were talking about Sniper Elite.
Yeah, well,
and
what
GTA
I'm saying.
5.
Well, I'm saying Sniper Elite, I didn't like it because of the triggers, how they feel as compared to Xbox. But like with Astrobot, that's a first-party studio, right?
Yeah.
And they did such a great job with that. So it depends.
Yeah.
It depends.
Yeah, but I know, but I was going on the track of if we're complaining about a third-party game like Sniper Elite, then I think FF16 falls within that same remit, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's again, I mean, the Sniper Elite one maybe it's not a low effort. It's just you don't like it, but the FF16 is quite a low effort because they really don't implement any features at all apart from holding the trigger to open a door, basically.
Right.
So which is shit. But yeah, like obviously games like Astrobot that were built with it in mind are great. Spider-Man's quite good with it.
Yeah.
GT7's really good with the triggers as well, and some of the other features. But yeah, it just depends. It just depends on how people implement them.
Another game that was exclusive, Infamous Second Son, how they used the pressure pad was great because it was part of the actual gameplay.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, with the smoke and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let
Infamous.
that game die, Sentinel. Just let it
No,
die.
Infamous needs to come back on PlayStation. I'm telling you, that's such a great franchise.
It's not. It's nothing's coming back. You promised us a Twisted Metal reboot, and we didn't get it. It's dead.
I
They
know.
don't care, no.
I know.
All you get are the shitty PS1, PS2 games. That's it. That's all they're giving
Jesus.
you. They don't even
Breaking
give
my
you all
heart
of them.
more and more every single day. They're breaking my heart. I swear to God.
Oh, remember this? This is Brothers in Arms, this demo, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember
Yep.
this demo. This was a proper bullshot demo.
Apart from Hell's Highway, wasn't that great?
Right.
It was a bad
There
game,
is
but it was good.
no way that PS3 could do that.
Yeah. I remember I was so hyped for it, and then it just came out, and it was just a pile of shit. So
Yeah, but especially after Brothers in Arms 1 and 2 were great.
yeah, they were good.
And then they were going to reboot it into like a first person like combo shooter game, weren't they?
Yeah,
And that never
yeah.
happened, which I'm sad.
Yeah.
I'd love to have seen that. Oh, look at this! Is that Sonic 2000? One of the
Yeah.
worst Sonic games ever
Jesus.
made.
Fast forward it if you want. You can get
No,
rid of that
we need to slow it down so we can do a frame by frame analyzation of the greatest mascot on gaming. Don't you agree, BMG?
bit. No, I do not. I do not. The blue little bastard.
When did you have a
Well,
car? I
speaking-
honestly haven't played the game, but I don't remember driving around a car.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't play Sonic games, so I couldn't tell you. But speaking of great games, though, Sony reveals Spider-Man 2 PlayStation 5 console and controller alongside new trailer. This comes from Andy Robinson over at VGC. PlayStation Insomniac Games premiered a new Spider-Man 2 trailer, which is good. Good trailer. You got to see a bit of Venom in there. It's San Diego Comic-Con on Thursday and revealed a special edition PlayStation 5 console and controller. The trailer sets up our story in the game while also giving fans their first full look at Venom. Senior narrative director John Paquette, is it Paquette? Told the PlayStation blog, at the beginning of our story, our Spider-Men are at the top of their game, but both Peter and Parker, Miles Morales, are struggling with their personal
Did you
lives.
say
Miles is
Peter
trying
and
to find time
Parker?
to write his... I don't know, possibly. Peter
Peter
Parker
and
and
Parker.
Miles Morales. Peter and Parker, Miles and Morales. Struggling with their personal lives. Miles is trying to find the time to write his college entrance essay, but keeps... I can't even pronounce that word. Procrastinating?
Procrastinating.
And focusing... That's it, yeah. And focusing on spider work instead. Meanwhile, Peter is underwater on payments for Aunt May's house, but he can't sell. It means too much for him. And just like Miles, Peter tries and fails to find balance with so many responsibilities. MJ wants help Peter with the mortgage, but their job on the line now that J. Jonah Jameson is back at the Bugle and looking to clean house. Our heroes have arrived at I can't even pronounce that word. They've arrived at a crossroads with uncertain futures and some tough decisions ahead. So yeah, did we all watch the new trailer from
No.
from the? You didn't watch it? Oh, it's really
No,
good.
I'll just. I want to play the game. I don't need to watch the trailer. It's going to be play like Spider-Man, but
There
there's
you
also Venom. I have seen what's coming with it, and I'm interested, but.
Yes.
The trailer itself, I don't need to watch it. I've seen what I want to see of it. I was going to get it anyway. I like Spider-Man 1. I like Miles Morales.
Yeah.
It'll just be more of the same. Will I get it day one? Not 100% sure because it's very copy-paste. The Venom is a nice
Damn straight getting day one.
change, but I don't know. It's just a bit... They're all a bit samey after a while.
Well, there has been a slight leak from what I believe that there is actually going to be a part where you will be playing as Venom, not the Spider-Man in the black suit, but actual Venom, which is quite interesting.
Better than MJ.
Better than MJ. Yes, them sections were awful in that game.
Jesus.
I hated that. But yeah, that'd be quite cool, switching, playing in Venom and switching sides, so to speak. That'd be quite cool. I'm looking forward to that. What about yourselves, Masuku? Have you watched this trailer? Is it a game that interests you?
Yeah, I checked it out and looking very good. I haven't actually played the first one, so I'm like thinking I will when this special console is releasing. I think they are going for pre-order in a couple of days, so I will try to get that one, and then I will get to see how the Spider-Man games are.
They're all right. They're fun. They're definitely worth playing. I mean, they're not the best game ever made, but they're very, very fun, and they are one of the better superhero games that you can play. So the world is very it feels alive compared to some games where they feel quite empty. But I do like that they're doing the separate side plates. I'm probably going to pick the side plates up.
Yeah, the DualSense, that is, So you can also, obviously, the limited edition controller and console will be coming out. But if you've already got a PS5, you can also pick the plates and the controller up separate, which is good. I don't really bother with stuff like that. I've not got any plates. I just try and usually just leave it as standard as it is. I don't really mess with anything like that. Luke, have you watched the trailer? Does this make you more hyped for Spider-Man 2? And I'm assuming you'll be day one.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, I watched the trailer. It was a good trailer actually, because it doesn't really there's always a worry that I have going into story trailers that it kind of reveal too much. Like it just shows too much stuff which some trailers in the past have done in the recent past actually. But this one, it kind of shows you enough to give you an idea about what the central story will be, but it holds a lot back clearly, but it was good to see. It looks great. I thought Venom looked really, really cool. Just a little tease at the end, which is unsurprising. I still can't get over the changed Peter Parker model, though. It still looks
horrible,
weird.
isn't it?
Yeah, in isolation, it's fine. It's fine in isolation. It's just that if that was how it had been in 2018, I don't think anybody would have any real issues with it. It's the fact that we had a model and everybody got used to it, and then they were like, actually, we want to change him. And I even get some of the rationale for changing him in terms of making him look a bit younger. I mean, the prior model looks kind of older than Peter's going to be, but they should have just stuck with that model, because it's just upsetting to see like this imposter Peter Parker now. But yeah, so I just can't get over that element. But other than that, trailer looks really good. Really good. I will be day one, 100%, and I will get the controller. I won't get the plates, but I'll get the controller.
Controller looks good. I like how
that,
the controller looks.
Yeah.
Sorry,
do you guys
Mr.
think
Go
that
ahead.
this will be more like this kind of darker style of game?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be. It feels like that from the trailer. It feels like it will be quite a darker game than the first. I mean, the first can get pretty dark at times, but I think this will be a bit more of an adult story. Not that the first one was an adult story, but kind of more mature themes and stuff like that in this one.
That sounds good.
I think that's the way to go, and I think that's the way they will go.
I tell you now, I will be highly disappointed if we don't have the music and the Tobey Maguire walking down the street and doing the dance in his black suit. I'll be highly disappointed if that is not in the game.
Oh, you mean when he gets the symbiote? Yeah.
On Spider-Man 3.
Surely they'll do some nod to it.
They have to. They're going to have to. But it's also the leaks or rumours or however you want to see it, that Tobey Maguire is in talks to do a Spider-Man 4, which would be quite cool. I would watch that. I want, after the last Tom Holland Spider-Man film, where we got all the Spider-Men together, I would love a sequel to The Amazing Spider-Man, get a third film, more dark and gritty, because as we found out, it was very bitter and obviously distraught and everything else, and kind of went a darker route, which would be quite a cool story to tell. I think a bit of a darker route Spider-Man, and also the another Tobey Maguire film, because I think that'd be quite cool. We got Goblin still alive, back in it. You never know. But I'll look forward to watching that, and if that ever comes. Sentinel, come to you. What do you think? Did you watch the trailer? Does that make you more interested? Is it a day one buy for you?
No, I didn't watch the trailer, but again, I feel like Ash does. I'm going to get it anyway. I already know what I have to know in order to buy it. And I think, the plates for the PlayStation 5, it looks cool. I don't think I'll buy it myself, but it's nice to see that they're putting this kind of product out there to really hype Spider-Man 2 that's upcoming. I don't really know if I'll buy it day one. I'd like to, but if there's other games that I'm trying to pick up, it might not get picked up day one. But I am going to buy it eventually, though.
I wonder, though, will the fact that they're releasing the controller and the side plates separately affect resale value in the future? Because you wouldn't know, if I swap my plates over and bought a pad separately, you wouldn't know that wasn't the limited edition console, would you? So
yeah, that's true.
There must be ways to tell. You could check the serial number, I suppose, but who does that?
Ash, about that, I think that Digital Foundry, I was watching their video, so they were telling that they were checking the package of the special edition, so it's going to have a new version number on it.
Right, but like I say, for general store owner, Mr. C, he wouldn't know, would he?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I wish they'd done the smaller side plates, the ones that you can get online where they don't look like humidifier fins. They're just like nice, small, and sleek. I'd love to get some of those that were custom, just so it makes it look a little less grotesque and fat on my shelf. Because that's the one downside about the PS5. It's so ugly. Like,
I just hide mine behind my TV.
There you go.
I do.
I can't. I've got to leave
Series X,
access to mine. I've got
well,
family
but...
living in it, so I've got to leave them access in and out. So,
Yeah.
but it's so ugly, so ugly. Like, and some of the PlayStations have been ugly. Like, I did realize. I just found out the other day though, the PS3 was that ugly design because not the PS3, the PS2 was an ugly design, but they bought the rights from like a company that went bust who were making PCs, and basically the PS2, the big fat PS2, is basically just that PC painted black and with the PS2 logo stuck on it, the same case. So there you have it. Yeah, I found out about it.
That makes a lot of sense because I have always wondered, like the first generations of PS2, like who designed it? It's like I really cannot.
I'll dig it out and I'll find it out. I'll put it as one of my did you know posts on social media at some point. But I found it and I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Never knew that.
There you go.
Right.
I have got one bit of news quickly before 20 questions,
Well,
though, if I can, which is like the best news ever come out today. And I'm only talking about this because one of the previous games based on this same IP is like the 2 most watched videos on this channel ever in the history of this channel. But we're getting a DreamWorks themed kart racing game called DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing. It's coming to like all consoles and PC later this year. Nice. So it looks awesome. You can play as Shrek, you can play as Donkey. It's got to have 20 characters at launch. Each with their own kart, which can be customized, and it sounds cool to me. All the DreamWorks things, and there's going to be a deluxe edition which has 2 extra characters in it: Kung Fu Panda's Master Oogway and the wolf from the newest Puss in Boots film. But I've put a news post up on the website. But literally, the Shrek racing game seems to be the 2 most watched videos on our channel from years ago, and they just keep constantly getting more and more views. Nice. So I'm looking forward to it. I love a good kart racing game. I enjoyed the DreamWorks kart racing games on Xbox. They were a bit rough around the edges, but I did enjoy them. And it's nice when we get a kart racing game that's not Mario Kart. So always down for that.
You've got your Disney one.
That Disney one is like fully pay to win, whereas this, and like free to play, but you have to pay for everything and all the extra characters. Whereas this one, it's a one-off fee, and it's like just a full game, and it looks really good graphically. It looks really nice from the pictures they've shown. Whether that's the case in the end, obviously, pre-release photos can be different to gameplay. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm always down for some weird little games where I can play as Shrek. Yeah. Although what is funny is apparently Donkey has a dragon-based car. So does that mean he shags his car? So like I'm a bit confused. Like his cart is the dragon, but not like the real dragon, a kart version. So maybe like makes a bit of love to the exhaust and stuff.
Each to their own. Each their own. Yeah, exactly. Here's another classic game that we need to get on modern consoles.
Oh, yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns at Patriots. I love this game.
What a game, yeah.
It's the only game.
It was a game. I thought it was a movie with interactive segments like splattered in between it.
Yeah, well, it's a game where you could go out and do your shopping, come back, and you're still in the same cutscene. It was the loading screens that got me because it took forever to load. But the whole loading screen was just Snake stood there smoking a fag. And you just watched him smoke a whole fag and then light another one and then it would load up. But yeah, it's a good game. Really good.
Like the intro to it as well, when it's got like the TV channels that you would like flick through and it'd be like David Hayter being interviewed, but like as himself in the future, like in some far-flung... It was so weird. It was so strange. You open the game up, you're like, what?
What is this we're playing?
The only Metal Gear I really played was 2. And all I remember is you went into that the locker and you were like kissing the poster over and over again.
Yeah.
And it was just weird. And I was like, why am I playing this game?
You even ran around
Should've
naked in that game.
You should have
Yeah.
continued. How was that not enough? You're in a locker kissing a poster. That's automatically you got to play on to see what else. And as BMG said, you
Yeah.
run around naked at one point.
I know I did play it.
Yeah.
That's the only one I literally played though. I've
Oh,
never
you
really got
played-
into the
yeah.
franchise. I played that
you
one quite a
missed out.
bit.
What was the name of the fat guy who was on skates with the bombs scooting around?
What is it?
I just didn't make any sense. Just on skates skating around. It's like, what the fuck? Well, it was funny. It was good. It was good.
Man, I love
Oh,
Kojima.
yes. Good. Oh, strange guy with strange thoughts, but managed to put them all into games that we all play. Well, speaking of games, it's now time for video game 20 questions. Just in case anyone in the chat or panel or anywhere else watching this on demand or on podcast services around the world, we play a game called Video Game 20 Questions. I have a game in mind. The panel has 20 questions. One of them questions has to be the guess. To guess the game I've got, and I can only answer yes or no. Not allowed to use Google or anything like that to start typing things in to try and guess the game. You have to dig into your mind palace to figure out what the game is. Chat, as always, help the panel out, give them questions to ask. Don't just shout games out because that doesn't help. I know we've gone about 10 weeks now saying that it doesn't help, and I know some of you still think that it does. It doesn't help. Questions is what we need, and that does help the panel. So with that, let the questioning begin.
Is this title an exclusive to one platform or the other?
No.
Okay, good. So it's multi-platform.
Still a no.
Was it released on the PS3, Xbox 360 generation onwards?
Yes.
I really want to ask, is it in this presentation, but I don't want to risk that.
Right.
Does it have oversized crabs? Jesus. Ridge Racer. Oh,
Is that your
someone else
guess?
ask a question? No, because you said it had to be popular games, and no one likes Ridge Racer anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Oof. You're not wrong.
Ridge Racer's not been good for about two decades now.
Is it a racing game?
No.
There you go. It's not Ridge Racer.
I don't know why you'd pick it, because BMG doesn't play racing games, so you wouldn't know any.
I mean, he could still pick a racing game for us to guess. He just would have to look up on Wikipedia.
Well, there's
chat,
not
don't
much
be
about a
useless.
racing game. You drive around in circles. That's all you do in a
Oh,
racing game.
Jesus.
Is it an adventure game?
No.
Did it come out on current generation systems?
No. That's 5.
So it's 360 or Xbox One gen. So PS4, PS3.
Yeah. Is it from a third-person over-the-shoulder perspective?
Yes.
That's only like 90% of PlayStation exclusives. Oh, Jesus.
Third person over the camera's perspective. Was
Come
it made
on,
by a
Luke, you
Japanese
must have a little-
developer?
No.
No.
So it's European or American then?
Might be Russian. I know they're technically classed as Europe,
Okay,
but
I'll
Yeah.
give you a slight clue on that. It was developed in one country, published by another.
Lovely.
Might not help you.
Well,
at
chat,
all in
you've
the
been
slightest.
absolutely supportive tonight. Fantastic. Keep up the great work.
BMG, is it a RPG game?
No.
Does it involve cover-based shooting mechanics?
There are cover-based shooting mechanics in the game,
Okay.
but that's not the main focus.
Right.
Cover-based shooting.
You can take cover and shoot,
Right.
but that's not your
Now
main.
is it down completely? Thanks.
Is it
all
is
of
it
the
part of a
6-axis
franchise?
going on there. Yes, that's 10.
What was that question?
Is it part of a franchise?
Okay.
Which was yes.
So it's part of a franchise. Is it made by an American company? Like, is it published by an American company,
No.
should I say?
No. Okay.
Well, you asked if it was developed, so if you want to ask that, that'll be another question.
No, if you're going to start being a CUNT about it, it's fine, mate. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, mate.
Well, I'll give you that one for free then. No, as well. It wasn't developed or published by an American company.
Okay. Let me see.
So it's European of some kind.
BMG, is it a stealth-based game?
Yes.
Has it got a bald man as the main protagonist?
Right.
That would narrow it down.
Is that what you're
I don't
asking?
know. Oh, I don't know. I feel like it could be Hitman, but
Yeah, we'll narrow it down. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ash.
does he have a bald protagonist?
No.
It's not Hitman. I told you we didn't need to waste it. Hey ho.
Stealth based.
I'm trying to think what the hell is stealth based in third person.
You would class this game. As a.
Okay, all right, I know.
This
I
one
know
is
what it
stealth action. Stealth action.
So it's
type
Assassin's Creed.
Is this game made by Ubisoft?
game. Yes.
Okay. So it's either going to be Splinter Cell or Assassin's Creed.
It's not going to be Splinter Cell, is it?
You don't know.
How many questions
Did
we
they
got?
release any Splinter Cells in the PS4 generation?
Well,
I
it was
guess
from
no.
the PS3 generation onward.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you did have
You've got
Splinter Cell
five
Blacklist.
questions and a guess left.
You did have Splinter Cell Blacklist
Does it
released on the
feature
PS3
a lot of
and
guys
Xbox
wearing
360.
robes?
No, that's 15.
Well, that narrows it down.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Assassin's Creed anyway because it has cover-based shooting mechanics, doesn't it? This game.
Yeah.
So I've never seen Ezio with a Glock hanging out around with.
Well, you've not played the right Assassin's
Nope.
Creed. Assassin's Creed 3 has guns, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you can take cover.
So.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but that one was terrible.
It was terrible, but you could do it.
Does the protagonist have famous night vision goggles?
Yes.
So I'm thinking it is Blacklist.
Does it
Was
have
there
black in
2
the title?
or 3 released in that generation?
There was Splinter Cell Blacklist.
That
and there
was
was
it.
that
There's one-
one where he was like a hobo looking one, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conviction.
Okay.
That was the other one.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them had
Oh,
co-op
Jesus.
as well, didn't it? One of them had a co-op mode.
Was that Blacklist?
I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of them games have had co-op.
And the last one was the only one that had
Conviction.
multiplayer,
It
right?
was Conviction. I'm thinking of. I'm sure it was called Conviction with multiplayer.
Maybe it was.
Conviction
it,
also
it was
had.
like a totally separate game mode. You played like co-op, but it was through like
Oh
like
yeah,
a different
yeah.
like you
Yeah, it
were like
was.
two special agents instead of
Yeah.
him, Sam Fisher.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
remember
cannot
that. Yeah.
narrow it with that.
Oh my god! I wish I could remember.
Wasn't he bald on the cover of one of the Splinter Cell games as well? So it can't be that one because he was bald on it. Or did he just have a shaved head? And that's what we're classing it as.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did the title have a color in the name?
Did it? I thought we weren't asking questions like that. Did it have a color in the name?
A color, yes.
You can't ask questions like that.
No,
You can't ask questions like that. That's cheating.
Why not? Why not?
Don't most of the
Have a
games
colour
have
in
cover in the name though.
No, color, like color. You know, like a specific color.
Like, is it Blacklist? Is what he meant.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
Now, here we
Yeah,
go.
but
Here's
you-
one. Here's one. No, because I was going to say, is he wearing his goggles on the cover? Because that narrows it down. Because there was the newer ones, like on the 360 PS3, wasn't wearing his goggles, was he?
Yeah, but with Blacklist he was, I think.
So, what is that a question?
Blacklist,
Is
he
that
had
a
his
question you're
goggles on his
asking?
head.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's what you're asking? Was he wearing goggles?
Yeah,
on his
go on
head?
then. Did he have his goggles on the cover of this game?
Yes.
So it's
Yep.
either it could be Blacklist or is it Chaos something or other?
Chaos Theory, I think.
How many questions we got left?
Like 2.
You have 2 questions and a guess.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, didn't which one was it? Wasn't it Blacklist?
Could ask about the
This is my
multiplayer.
question. No, I was gonna. There's didn't Blacklist have Michael Ironside didn't do the voice, did he? He didn't do Sam, because I remember it was super controversial at the time.
Yeah,
But
they had
the
someone
ones
else do it.
before that, it was all Ironside,
Yeah.
so you
So-
could narrow it.
There you go. That's a good question.
That's a good question.
So did
What we asking?
BMG did Michael Ironside voice Sam Fisher in this game?
No.
There you go.
It's got to be
what it is.
Blacklist, then, hasn't it?
Blacklist.
So are we guessing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Why not?
Right. You are correct. It is Splinter Cell Blacklist, released in 2013 on the PS3, Xbox 360, and the Wii U. Never realised it came to the Wii U.
Nice.
Yeah. Developed by published by Ubisoft and developed by Ubisoft Toronto. And it did have multiplayer. Multiplayer was first introduced in, was it Pandora Tomorrow? The
I
Mercs
don't know.
versus
I didn't play a lot of
Mercs
Sam
versus
Fisher
Mercs.
games.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't.
okay.
didn't
It's a
remember
franchise that was boring and deserved to die.
Wow. Jesus
We all have
Christ.
bad takes sometimes. it's
Walk
alright.
into the
Yeah.
sunset and just die.
That's
Right.
it. With Ric Flair. Ric Flair can
Oh.
walk him hand in hand together.
Oh.
Both of them.
Oh my
So
god.
well done for this fine 120 questions on 19 for the final episode of the PSN Party Podcast. And we just want to remind you, this is the last episode of PSN Party Podcast. This Thursday is the last episode of the XBL Party Podcast before we go on break. And there is some new exciting things coming when we come back in September for podcast-wise, but there will still be content going on through the week, whether it be game streaming, RPG sessions, and whatever else Ash comes up with, he'll have us doing. Maybe all of us naked on stream, like putting cream on ourselves or something like that. Who knows? Ash comes up with different things on a daily basis.
Yep.
But other than that, that will do us for the show. I just want to say thank you, Luke and Masuko, for joining us this evening on our final show. It's very much appreciated. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you? Masuko, come to you first, sir. Where can everyone find you?
Mostly on Twitter, so Masuko_1984. So you can come and say hi, and mostly you can find me also here chatting with you guys whenever you go live.
Awesome. And Luke, yourself, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, I am on X, Zeeting, most days. Find me there at LukeSteel90. That's it.
Awesome. And Sentinel, is it you're just TikTok now, aren't you?
Oh,
TikTok
yeah.
megastar he does.
Right, yeah. It's Twitter or on X, I guess. On YouTube and on Twitch, it's all SSG Sentinel. And then I think it's the same on TikTok, SSG Sentinel as well. So you can check out my content there.
Awesome. Ash, where can everyone find you? Also, is whatever's coming up over the next coming week or so?
Yeah, you can find me on the XPN Network socials, XPN Network. You can find me personally on Twitter or X as it is, Ima_Ghostbuster, but with a 0 instead of an O. Feel free to add me, follow me, say hello. I'm pumping out content. I've got loads of reviews coming to the channel. My back is hurting from carrying it so much. But we've got loads of reviews, and then obviously we've got the show Thursday, but then Monday next week we're going to be streaming the Evercade Showcase 2 Monday night. We've also just become another partner streamer for the upcoming indie game showcase as well, so that'll be getting scheduled soon. And yeah, I've got a pile of games I'm going to be doing live streams on. I'm just waiting for these shows to finish this week, and then I'll be back doing them more regularly in the evenings, the gaming live stream. So let us know what you want to see me play, and I'll try and fit it in for you. But other than that, yeah, every day I'm pumping out content on social and YouTube at the moment. So just keep your eyes peeled, and they'll keep flying out.
You heard it here first. Ash is pumping one out every day.
That's it.
But
Nice.
that will do it for this final ever episode of PSN Party Podcast. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in chat. Thank you, panel. And for the final time, good night and hail safe.